Good morning, sons and daughters of the Most High. This is your brother Chukwemeka. I'm doing the part 4 of the call to return to Minani. Now, the Igbo tradition I want to talk about today is what we call Nso. So there are things that are called Nso. For those who are not Igbos, let me explain what Nso means. The Igbo word Nso can be interpreted to mean two things. Number one, it can be interpreted to mean holy, something that is holy. Nso. Number two, it can be interpreted to mean something that you don't touch. Don't touch it. You abhor that and you stay away from that. I guess someone can argue that something that is holy also you are not supposed to touch it, but that's just what the Igbo word unso means. That's what the Igbo word unso captures. Something that's abhorrent, something you don't touch, you don't even venture into there. There are things you are not supposed to do, things you're not supposed to touch, things you're supposed to stay away from. That is what unso means. In Igbo land, there are a bunch of unso that you as an Igbo person needs to observe. For you to practice the Igbo tradition, you need to observe this bunch of unso. You need to observe them. And irrespective of whether you are in Igbo land or not, you need to observe them. There are things that are sacred to the land. There are things that are sacred to the community, to the tradition. And these things you are to stay away from as an Igbo man. Number one, of the things you have to stay away from, I have covered in part 2 of this series. That is, there are some food you are not supposed to eat. Those things are not meant as food for you. Things like pig and bats and all those things, these are not food for you. These are sacred. You should not do them. There are kinds of things you're not supposed to do as an Igbo man. It's not everything you see. You go out there, you go to Japanese restaurant, Chinese restaurant, Korean restaurant, Thai restaurant. No, you're not, as an Igbo man, you're not supposed to be eating these things. Number two is that this is actually very important. You have to observe Nso with a woman. It is not every day you lie on the same bed with a woman, even if she's your wife, especially when she is in her time of the month. When a woman is in her time of the month, she is what they call unsoilo, right? Some communities call it unsono or unsoilo. What that means is that the woman should be set apart. You as a man are not supposed to come in contact with her sexually or otherwise. You are not supposed to. In those days, brothers and sisters, in those days, a separate hut is built in each compound for a woman or the women of that family that are in their times of the month. That's where they stay. They call it mbuke. That's where they stay when they are in their time of the month. They don't come in contact with objects in the house, things in the house. This is Igbo tradition. Go and ask your mothers. When a woman is in her time of the month, she doesn't do the cooking. She shouldn't be doing the cooking for you. That is why Igbo men, even up to recently, Igbo men, when they build the houses, they build a separate room for their husband and a separate room for their wife. There are days when the husband and wife are not supposed to be in the same room. It is so you as an Igbo man need to observe this. This is what keeps you maintain the integrity of who you are. You can't say because a woman is in her period that it was done because of cleanliness. No, it wasn't. If you read, brothers and sisters, if you read the books of even people who wrote about Igbo land in those days, Igbos are extremely sanitary. We are very clean, very clean people. So it has nothing to do with sanitation. The reason women are kept apart in their times of the month has nothing to do with sanitation. It's not sanitation. It's not for sanitary things. These are laws that we're supposed to keep. When a woman is in the time of the month, let's say you don't have two rooms, you as a man can go and sleep in the parlor. Let's say you live in a one bedroom apartment, you can sleep in the veranda, you can sleep anywhere. As a man, this is how you maintain the integrity of your manhood. This is how you keep your tradition. Brothers and sisters, I don't need to waste my time telling you where this is in the Bible. Go and look at the book of Leviticus chapter 15. It's clearly there in the Bible. Leviticus chapter 15 verse 19. When a woman is in her time of the month, a man is not supposed to come close to her. Even nobody is supposed to touch her. She is supposed to be set apart until that thing is done. And she comes back to this is what is done. This is how you observe your tradition. This is how you observe your tradition. Now, people will tell you, okay, women empowerment, blah, blah, blah. They will tell you all this nonsense. But it's clearly in the Bible. And like I said, go and look at the book of Leviticus chapter 15, verse 19. Go and look at the book of Ezekiel. The prophet Ezekiel is who you call Ezekiel. Now look at the book of Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 17. Go and look at the book of Leviticus chapter 15, verse 19 and 20. They are all there. Even when a woman gives birth, even when a woman puts to birth, gives birth to a child, she is having a discharge of blood. At that period, she is supposed to be unclean. She is supposed to observe unso. They call it unso at that period. In Igbo culture, when a woman puts to birth, right? When a woman puts to birth, she is in a period of unso for a minimum of 8 Igbo weeks. 8 Igbo weeks is about 30 days. That's 4 weekdays. That's about 30 days. And this is also echoed in the Bible. You can go and look at the book of Leviticus chapter 12. These are all Igbo tradition that is still being observed by some people. And you call those people pagans, you call those people villagers, but they are doing what the Bible says. I asked my grandmother recently, how long, if a woman puts to bed, how long does she stays at? And so my grandmother explained to me that when a woman puts to bed, she's supposed to stay at least 8 Igbo weeks. She's not supposed to do any cooking. She will be with the child. 8 Igbo weeks is about 32 days. That's 4 times 8 because Igbo week is 4 days. That's about 32 days. As you can see, this is clearly in the Bible, in the book of Leviticus chapter 12. It tells you that when a woman puts to bed, she's supposed to stay at least 30 days to purify, depending on the sex of the child. It cannot be a coincidence, children of God. It cannot be a coincidence that people in the village will tell me that when a woman puts to bed, this is how long she observes. It cannot be a coincidence. And the same thing is in the Bible. These are illiterate. They've not read the Bible. These are people you call pagans. They are the ones telling you what they do in Igbo tradition. And if you read the Bible, you see it. Okay, so you are supposed to observe these things. These are things that you observe. And most people will ask, why do you stay away from a woman in the issue of blood? You see, blood is sacred to the Most High. Blood contains life. Blood of anything is what gives life to that thing. That's what gives the spirit to that thing. Blood is very, very important. So blood should not be exposed. The Most High made it very clear that we should not leave any blood exposed. We should cover it with the earth. Cover it. And so when it comes out of a woman, when she's in her issue of blood, it's this is a sacred thing. That's why they call it Unso, and that's why Unso translates to holiness. It's a sacred thing. It's not something that should be taken lightly. Okay, it's just the way biology works. A whole lot of people will latch onto this and say, okay, we are discriminating against women. Anybody can say whatever they want to do. This is our tradition. It works for us. It's our what? These are laws that we keep. This is what makes our people. Okay, if you want to look at discrimination against women, you shouldn't look at Igbo land. Igbo women are the most emancipated in history. Don't take it from me. If you read the book by Elizabeth Isiche, in that book, she quoted some French explorers that came to Igbo land in, I don't know, the 1500s or the 1600s, and they wrote that this is where they have seen the real sovereignty exists in a community. Both male and female are free to do what they want to do according to the laws of the land. This is not from me. These are some French European explorers that came in the, I think in the 1600s, that came to Igbo land. So people that say that Igbos look down on their women or maybe put their women down, those people are number one, illiterate. Number two, they don't know what they're talking about. Okay, so this is part of Igbo tradition. People need to understand that there are traditions. Traditions are there for a reason. It puts people in line. It's like having constitution today in the law. It's there for a reason. And like I explained today, if you understand Igbo tradition, it is there because it is from our God, the God of the Bible. It is biblical. And every tradition I've mentioned here, I've given you the corresponding quotes in the Bible where these things are meant to be observed. So please, nobody should do what is abomination. And anything that is unso, stay away from it. There are places that are unso, there are places you shouldn't go into. And I'll do video to explain these things. Today, people make mockery of the fact that Igbos have what they call evil forests that are so that people shouldn't enter at certain time. But those people now don't know that these things are even today in the Western world. They call them national parks. They call them game reserve. These are forests that nobody should enter. These are all conservation strategies that our ancestors employed. So those who are not well educated will be making fun of these things. But I'll do a video on that in the future. Let's stay on topic here. So, children of God, the word unso is very important in Igbo tradition. This is actually a very important part of this series. If you want to observe Igbo tradition, there are things that you should call unso. There are things that you shouldn't do. Unso is an abomination. So these things, you have to observe them. No matter what, you have to observe these things. And it's because we are no longer observing these things that you see clearly that Igbo land is kicking Igbo people out. There are Igbos who are slaves in other communities here in Nigeria who are slaves, slaving away in other communities. I am not kidding. I will do a video. There are Igbos who are slaves in other places. They can't go back home. What is pursuing you from going back to your village? Nothing. That is in Igbo land. They said ọkụkọ nyụọ arụ a na-achụwa ya ọsọ. When a chicken farts, the land chase him around. When you've committed a crime, the land kicks you out. That's just a simple law. It's the abomination, the culmination of abomination that we have done that's keeping us from our communities. If you begin to return to the Igbo mainland, you see yourself want to go back to your community. No matter what, you want to go back to your village. May the Most High bless you. Salam.